Anybody that's 70 and above can tell you a story of the time when they came down to this hotel and sat and talked with him, and he would share stories with them about the city. So they've got lots and lots of stories.
Hill grew up here and he worked very hard. This, in fact, is what we're pretty sure he earned his first nickel with. He was going to Jones School, and on Saturdays and at other times he would shine shoes along 3rd Street for a nickel a shoe shine. He also would get up at 3:30 in the morning before going to school when he was in grade school to deliver newspapers. So he learned to work hard very, very early.
It may not be unique to a lot of people, but again, he was a real thinker. He loved lemonade, but if you ordered it, you had to pay for it. And so long before anybody else started doing that, when he would go someplace, he would order water with lemon, and then he would squeeze the lemon, make lemonade out of it, and so he didn't have any cost involved in it. We used to laugh and say he could squeeze a nickel till the buffalo sat down because he was pretty tight. But he was a kind man, very knowledgeable, and he loved Hot Springs. So he acquired a lot of things, and probably one of his legacies will be that he acquired a lot of property to keep it from being torn down, and so he's got that.
He built the first tourist court in Hot Springs, the best tourist court on Ouachita. Of course, today they're called motels. And some people told him he was crazy that kind of an establishment wouldn't work. But he saw that the automobile was becoming so popular that people would want kind of new hotel, just park your car.
He acquired probably, as I said, about 70% of downtown Hot Springs. At one time or another, he helped a lot of people in town. He helped make the payroll for the community at one time. And right now we operate about 19 buildings. I came back to Hot Springs in the early 90s to help my father, and my uncle was at the time was in the hospital and couldn't take care of the buildings themselves. So I came back and tried to help them do that. We have spent a lot of money preserving the buildings that we have and keeping them occupied. His main interest was in tourism for downtown Hot Springs. That's what he remembers. He remembered the baths. And so he really was, there's a statue downtown, on about the 600 block of Central in what we call Hill-Whitley Plaza. He bought that entire block. It was called the Gaines Block, but he bought the entire block and then gave it to the city for a park and a parking lot down there. And there's a picture of him down there that says Mr. Hot Springs on it. And for the time that he was born and time that he was raised in this area, he really was Mr. Hot Springs.
And then later on, he was one of the original investors in Magic Springs, which we think of as such a modern entertainment venue. He participated in the life of the town for so long and invested in it in very far-seeing ways. Some people too thought Magic Springs wouldn't work, but he had vision in that too.
He also loved the Ohio Club. While he didn't drink and he didn't gamble and didn't do all that, the Ohio Club is the oldest bar in all of Arkansas. And we were able to save that, paint it, fix it up, nearly lost it in a fire in the late 1900s, but the fire department did a great job. We saved it and we were able to put it back together. And it's now become one of the most advertised spots in all of the state. And it is a very unique, it's a historical building now. And if you go inside the building, you'll find pictures and photos from 100 years old. And it's really a neat place for people to go. And that was one of the things that he was able to save.
It's interesting that his family came here in a covered wagon. He worked as a shoeshine boy on 3rd Street when there were still livery stables along that street and saloons. And by the end of his life, Hot Springs was such a modern city in the 1990s.